Did you fix the chirping alarm?
Oh,
welcome to Crust Fund.
Boom. Well, I guess we should start at the beginning.
All right, welcome to Crust Fund.
Yeah. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Tebow. What are we doing here?
I don't know what we're doing here, man. It's funny, like, talking about this video, though. Then you can cut this up.
What are we doing here, Tebow?
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. To what we did in this video, we walked around looking for inspiration for stuff to cook. I mean, that's really it.
So come along, won't you? See if it's a complete failure or a success. Or somewhere in the middle, probably.
I ain't no pro chef here, okay? Don't have expectations that somehow this is gonna end up better than it is.
Passable at best. Unique. Unique New York.
It tastes good. Wait,
what does? What? We met up at Dollar Hits. Like we saw these sticks here, and then we chose.
There was a lobster ball, pig's ear.
My least favorite thing. I think we ate the entire time. The mouthfeel, not good.
This gooey.
It was tender, but then you bite in it. It felt like you were biting into
it's like you're biting into glue or something.
There were 2 more sticks we got.
I have no idea.
The thing that was the standout there was the blood stew. So when I picked out the 4 sticks, you were over in the hot area. You were talking with the cook, I guess? Oh yeah, there's no menu there because it's just like whatever they want to make every day. It's just like a hot bar of stuff. And why did you land on the stew?
Definitely because it was unique.
The look of it, or did you know what it was when you picked it?
No, yeah, I didn't know what it was when I picked it because I had not had blood stew and it looks good. I think I asked him also what his favorite was, and I think that he had given me like 2 or 3, and the blood stew is one of the things that he had mentioned. Like I was always trying to ask this question of like so what do you like what stuff that you would make, and people sometimes are like, what? Yeah, so we went to a place called Dollar Hits. We tried a pork blood stew that we're actually gonna try to make. I think it's called dinuguan, something like that.
Did what?
Dinuguan?
Did I what?
Did you do that? We're probably going to figure out what it actually sounds
we'll
like.
We'll overdub that.
And we'll get like Google to tell us what it actually sounds like.
Dinuguan.
Pork belly, pork blood soup. So that's pork belly, and this is actually the pork blood, and I've never used pork blood before, so I didn't know it came in cubes.
Ugh, I don't like it.
It's like
slap me in the face with it.
It's like
really good.
Tofu was tofu was blood.
Can I drop it? How heavy is that?
We
didn't even weigh it, right? We went.
That's the funny thing. So I was like, we need 2 pounds, and the guy didn't really speak English, so he was like, "Is this fine?" I'm like,
you tell me.
Yeah,
I'm asking you for 2
I was like, that looks about fine. So we're gonna make that with some rice.
What are you doing down there?
Chop an onion, we're gonna have some ginger, garlic. I mean, it's pretty easy. Really just something that's gonna cook slow and low, for a little while.
So this big guy is what we're gonna slow cook with all this stuff?
I wouldn't quite call it like slow cooking. I think I have to double check the cook time. I think it's like 2 hours, so it's not that long. It's really just a stew, right?
Are you asking me or are you just telling me that?
It's a hypothetical question.
Coming to watch?
Cool. So we're gonna, probably just not talking as soon as the camera comes on.
Cool.
So we're gonna mix a little bit of white vinegar into this pork blood. About 10 ounces to a pound is what you would need, and we definitely got more than that. But I don't think that Dan has a whole lot of use for like pork bloods, so I think we'll be good to make extra. But I'm gonna drain this real quick.
You coming over and smelling that blood, Zilla? Does it smell good?
I'm just gonna do a splash of this vinegar. About 2 tablespoons, because again, this is more than I actually need as far as the pork blood, so I'm gonna do probably more closer to like, I don't know, a 1/4 cup or something. But literally never done this before.
Look at that. That looks edible.
It's like the color of brick.
It's not for you.
Yeah, it's funny that they say stir as if like this was just gonna like magically dissolve.
It's looking a little bit better.
Half an inch to 1 inch slices, chunks, but they're not gonna be huge. So think about like, how big the pieces of meat would be in a stew. Probably could cut some of this fat off, but you know what?
That's gonna be this flavor.
That's gonna be flavor. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Like it's just gonna be the garlic, ginger, onions getting sauteed, and then we're gonna have the pork belly go in. Then we'll add the pork blood in with more vinegar and cook that down, then add water, kind of cook that down a little bit more. And at that point, that's more or less the stew. I'll cook it for like 30, 40 minutes, but that's enough for it to be, I think, pretty tender. You deglaze with the vinegar, dude. Cook this till it's soft, so it's just gonna be a couple minutes before the pork belly goes in. Literally another 30 seconds. Don't let me forget.
Cheerio.
Hey. Oh wait, I'm not recording. Hey.
I love scotch.
Move these puppies over.
Get to the meat.
I don't want this to all flop in at one time. I don't know if that was elegant or not. Poking stuff with a knife, which is definitely a sign of being a five-star chef. So let me go up a little bit more, just since we got that in there. So I was trying to cook this until it browned, but I kind of had the meat in there a little bit too stacked, and it's probably isn't gonna brown too much. I'm gonna go ahead and add like a tablespoon of fish sauce. This is something where fish sauce to me is like to taste. And the one that we had wasn't super fishy. It's more of like, I would use this as somewhat of like the salt that you're adding to the dish. Because you can always add more later. I would add actually like fish sauce, you know, you can't take it away. And you can always add a little bit of fish sauce at the end or, you know, at some point later in cooking for flavor, but I would add just a little bit now.
Fishy.
Yeah, so we'll cook this for about a minute or two and then just let this sit here. Again, it's not browned, unfortunately, but whatever.
It's the name of the cooking show, but whatever.
But whatever, you know, things, it's not good, it's gonna still taste good. Things that we can do, like learn from this process. So we're gonna add the rest of this vinegar. This you definitely need to cook down, bring to a boil, and that'll help to remove some of that sourness. And again, I feel like this is something you could probably do to taste. After that, we'll probably simmer it for another 5 minutes or so before we go and add some water. Yeah, it's boiling. I'm just gonna cook this for like another minute. We had the vinegar that we added, and then that's kind of reduced down a little bit. In about, you know, less than a minute or so, just let this go for a little bit longer. We're gonna add water, we'll bring it to a boil again, reduce that down, it'll get kind of thick. Probably at that point wanna like taste it to make sure that it's not too sour. Might have to cook it longer. Once we do that, then we'll actually add the pork blood, which will be kind of cool because the dish is actually like black, fermented. Hey,
shut up over there.
Up. But if you
wait till it's done.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking over it. Yeah, anyway, yeah, so it'll be almost black in appearance. It'll be kind of cool. That'll happen once we add that in. Oh my God. It's a little sour, not too sour. It's been like 20 minutes or so. The pork blood. It came to a boil, we added that water, we're gonna cover it, it'll cook like for 15, 20 minutes on low. And at that point, I think we'll do a taste test, and that's when we'll add the blood and everything. And super exciting, we're just gonna literally just stand here and drink scotch and ginger ale. It's just me sweating while I'm just drinking this. If this is how you served it with this look appealing, I can assure you it's gonna be good. It's kind of clumpy. Again, this is weird. I've never used this before. I was like, the recipes I looked at, they're like, stir, blend it. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but with heat, it's gonna break down.
Blood clay brick, clay blood bricks.
This is like
clay blood bricks.
You get a spoon. It's starting to look like the real deal, guys.
Insert footage here of the real deal.
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit not mixed in. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit more water because it's a little chunky.
What you call me?
Chunky? But no, it's a little chunky. I think as we cook it, it's gonna break down, but I just wanna have a little bit more water because you can kind of tell it's like, I don't know. I can't tell what I can tell. I've never used this before. But
I've never done this before.
I'm just doing it off of intuition. I think that this needs a little more water. You're gonna need to cook this now on, lower this a little bit, another like 10, 15 minutes, but I'm gonna check it in a couple minutes just to make sure that's starting to like incorporate in there. And then at that point though, once it's like fully mixed, I think it's done. We're almost done. We're gonna be able to eat this. Probably go for another 10 minutes or so, but just keep checking this every few minutes, trying to make sure this is getting incorporated. And I think at this point, like if it's too chunky, probably would add more water. I think this is a good consistency for us, because you saw how thick it was when we did it. I think this is probably gonna end up being thicker than what we had yesterday. All right, I'm gonna cover this back again, and then once kind of gets a little bit more incorporated, got some jalapenos I sliced off camera, so you have to believe me that I sliced these. Liar. Use brown sugar. Something that I don't have here, but you probably could mess around with is palm sugar. I feel like that's more of a Thai thing. This is turbinado sugar, so it's not gonna be quite the same thing as brown sugar, but you know.
When in Rome, when in New York City with limited ingredients in a tiny kitchen.
This is the point of this. Tiny kitchen. It's gonna taste good. I don't think that at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, oh, it's turbinado sugar instead of brown sugar. Fail. So I'm just keeping it on low. I'm just gonna add the sugar. which again is like a tablespoon of turbinado. Add in this jalapeno, which I removed the seeds and everything, so it really should not be too hot. That's kind of for Dan's safety. At this point though, I'm gonna probably let this go for a little bit and then I'm gonna salt, pepper to taste. It's pretty much almost done. I added a little bit more liquid. Again, this is something I haven't really done yet, so I feel like this is looking a little bit like clumpier than I want, but I also think that again, bigger pot, this could be avoided because you'd have a little more liquid and be able to like stir it a little bit harder. We'll let this go for a couple more minutes. We're so close though. We're so close, Dan. I know you're so hungry. We're so close to what? What are we so close to? Food time. 15, 20 minutes again that we cooked this. At this point, I was just kind of cooking it down, getting the extra water out. I found that like you really kind of have to stir it kind of hard to get those clumps to break down. You'll start to kind of see that it starts to get a little bit thicker in the center. You can see it's almost like a different color here, whereas it's watery, more watery there. And you can kind of see where it's finer. So stirring in that liquid, we've probably spent a little bit too much time cooking this. So I think we're done. So this rice is ready. I'm gonna plate this.
Good things take time.
And then let's get this is gonna be the sexy B-roll you guys are looking for.
Slop it on. It looks right. Color's right. Thickness is right. Smell is
Smell out the light here. That's pretty much what it looked like. I don't think we strayed away too far.
There was not much presentation
No, I mean,
to the dish.
This is a stew.
Take a big old hefty bite of that boy. Fruits of your labor.
Meaty sauce in here. Very good. I remember it being a little bit sour. That was the one thing I was wondering if we were gonna get right. It's like a little bit sour, and you add just enough sugar that it's not sweet. It's like you're adding.
Cuts the acidity, right? It's like
Yeah,
when you
cuts the
cook
acidity.
tomato sauces.
Yeah, so like, and I was cooking with it. It tasted sweet for a little while, like a kind of a sweet and sour thing, but as it cooked more, that sweetness was like totally gone, and it definitely is less sour. I think I could probably add a little more salt, and that's one thing we didn't get, but you know, salt and pepper at the end. I had actually a little bit more fish sauce as well at the end. Yeah, I'm gonna touch this again. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why did I touch that? I thought you were handing it to me.
It's good. It's softer, maybe.
Than the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More tender. The other one was, but it's probably been sitting out longer.
It was definitely brown seared maybe more, so it was a little bit like, the consistency was a little bit different, whereas this is definitely like boiled a little bit more. I think the pork is definitely softer. Also, their meat was definitely like almost black, so I almost think it was made the night before, and it just sat in there, and the meat became almost black. If you cook this in under an hour, there's no way that that's gonna be.
And this could be like a preparation or like a day before type thing.
I mean, I think this is the kind of thing where literally you
in the
could make
fridge.
double as much as what I made, and it just sits in the fridge. And it kind of congeals when you cook it, so it's almost like, I bet you could freeze it.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. That's good.
Yeah.
A+.
I'm sure there's other things I could add. I was actually like, maybe we should have added a bay leaf.
Success.
You gotta stack those flavors, dude. But yeah, it's something that we took way too long to cook this, but I think honestly, this is something that could be cooked in under an hour. About an hour.
You could do less time or more time. Devote more time to it, or like try to do it quicker.
Yeah. Just, you could make it as, this is something that you could make as complicated as you want. Like you could make, I mean, this could slow cook for 24 hours. I'm sure you could figure out a way to do that, so. But it doesn't have to. Which is why I was drawn to cooking this, because as soon as we walked in there, I was like, oh, this is all gonna be stuff that I'm familiar with, kind of. It's
Nothing
all like
complex.
nothing's complex.
Just like good home cooking, like
I feel like-
resourceful food, right?
You know, I feel like Filipino food, like, I don't know, some of the cooking elements seem to be similar to French cooking, which I'm familiar with, right? So.
Are you French? You guys do French fries in France? Or do they just call them fries?
Frites, baby.
Are we good? Can we eat now? Actually eat?
Let's actually eat.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So thanks, y'all.
For coming on this adventure.
Where we
We got food drunk.
not alcohol drunk.
No,
Definitely
yeah.
there's no alcohol involved in this process.
Not really that much, actually.
Goodbye.
Well, yeah, if you guys, well, we kind of already, yeah, there you go. If you guys have recommendations for places that we should eat, because we are going to do more videos like this, more videos where, you know, we're together walking around and then cooking in Dan's apartment. If you have recommendations, let us know. You know, we're looking for food that, you know, kind of like staple dishes. So maybe if there's something interesting like that we should try, there's not really any parameters. It's really just like we want to try stuff and show that, like, essentially two schlubs with basic cooking knowledge
In a very tiny space.
can, yeah,
It makes-
all of the challenges.
Can make something edible.
Yeah, you don't really need a
That
lot.
was good. There will be failures for lackluster dishes.
These weren't failures. I think these
No.
turned out pretty well. Like, I think most of the time you just try something new, it's gonna be satisfying probably, because
Your heart.
there's the joy of you made the effort.
Yeah.
And in this case, I don't think we didn't bite off more than we could chew. But these were both.
Get it, tongue. The mouthfeel. Kissing dumplings, yeah.
But yeah, recommendations, puns.
Yeah, if you have fusion ideas of things that could go together, but maybe traditionally don't go together, nothing too crazy left and right field, like chocolate pizza or something, we don't want that. Things that, you're like, what if we put this on that, or this in that, or this with that. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time when we go to this other place and eat this thing. We'll go here. We might go there. What about here? Let us know in the comments where we should. There. Not there.
Zoom in. Enhance. Holy shit.
Bye. Look, there's a cat outside.
Not our cat.